Welcome, everyone, to the live webcast. Everyone, come on in and get seated a minute as we are going to engage the chat roll here for a second. So I want to thank everyone that stopped in. So this unique chat roll. So everyone, please sign in and use a name. Because if you put out in a really good question like user 1999 says a really good question, do you want to be labeled user 1999? So everyone, please sign in and use a name. And we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can today. So everyone sit back, relax. Donna, Danielle, Shaman, Neona, Becca, Morgan, guest 8987, guest 9889, and Trevor, guest 4790. Everyone come on in, sit down, relax. Now there's going to be a lot of questions here. And these questions are pretty damn good here. So as we all know, this is our continuing webcast series on Living the Mystical Life Daily. This is our 7th webcast now. Seven webcasts in which we've been answering questions, getting into the depths of the different secrets that are there. We are trying to encourage everyone to get to the next level of personal self-illumination. That requires a little time, effort, and energy outsides of these webcasts. So if there's anyone that has any interesting experiences, please go ahead and put a message here in the chat room about some of the things that you've been practicing or the concepts that you've been understanding in understanding what we're presenting, living the mystical life daily. And there was a good question here from Wainina Tewiu. What can I expect to encounter and manifest living the mystical life daily? And guest 8987, which is me, said the unlimited point of view. What is the unlimited point of view? Really contemplate that as we begin today's webinar with this ancestral fly that is going to get on my mind, that shall not go away, the one that survived the great cataclysm of flies. So, everyone, sit back, relax, and let's talk living the mystical life daily. Every day, every week, every month is a mystical process. And what is mysticality in this individual moment right now? Think about it. Your nature of living the mystical life daily. Now, I can be here and say all sorts of things about what mysticality is, but ultimately it comes down to you and what you believe. For if you cannot get into a greater perception of what it is that you believe, why that you believe it, where did that belief structure come into you, those are where you challenge yourself in these moments away from this webcast and ask, where did I learn this habit pattern? Be willing to ask yourself, is this a habit pattern I created and unable to acknowledge on the greater point of view because of its simple limitations that will not allow greater points of view? The whole aspect of living the mystical life daily is the journey to the unlimited point of view, where you're not limited by this matrix, where bilocation, trilocation, duality doesn't exist. Just contemplate if you are bilocated and you want to go to sleep in your other place. Does that make you a quadality? Sleeping and dreaming in both places? Is that natural mysticality? For each person must learn to integrate that on their own. Now, Erky put another question in here. I feel cold, should I not integrate? Would a true consciousness explorer miss this show because he's feeling cold? Put on a jacket. Put a blanket on you. Cold during high energy moments represents pathogenic cold or pathogenic warmth. You're experiencing a pathogenic cold. That means your chi is rushing. That means the energy is going through you and it may not be going into the right place at the right time. That means adrenal glands are active. This is where your heart has raised its frequency and the blood pressure is trying to adjust to the new frequency, as well as the meridians and the energy channels that are experiencing some form of confusion as you're getting ready to ask questions. You're going to, well, what's he going to say next? So on and so forth. This is where you got to go to your internal self and have the echoing process, meaning to your heart and to all blood cells that are going through this. I'm eliminating this cold. I am taking myself back and giving myself the light of love and saturating every blood cell that is flowing through the heart. Illuminate the heart at a greater frequency, because there is where the separation of cold and warmth is. Now, there are different forms of pathogenic cold. One is a deep pathogenic cold where you're shivering. That means the adrenal glands have been highly activated. And that high activation of shivering, that means some internal source from within your own beingness is draining energy from one aspect of your body to another aspect of your body. Oftentimes, it's the back of the head where the atlas and the atlas exists, and it redirects it to just below where the heart is, right where around the thoracic vertebrae 4 and 5 are. There is where people experience betrayal energy. And if it doesn't connect there, it'll connect to the back of the tailbone. Those are the aspects that you want to bring higher frequency light to. One of the earlier videos that we put out in Living the Mystical Life Daily, which talked about using the sun as a method to bring light into you through sun gazing, except not with the eyes open at dawn. This is something that you were going to do whenever you could get at high energy sunlight, most amount of sun on your face, and you were going to gaze at the sun with your eyes closed, allowing the eyelids to be the membrane that it creates spiritual photosynthesis that turns on the 2 eyes to activate the 3rd eye, so you then could illuminate the entire spinal column. This is bringing light to the center of the being. That's another way to eliminate pathogenic cold. All right, so we're going to get started now. You all know who I am. You all know what you're here for, but it is time to understand the sacred art of living the mystical life daily as the out loud name it to claim it system. As you all know, we need questions. We want good questions, good experiences. And I know a lot of you, this is not your first webcast. And the first thing I want to say, we've given out a lot of techniques over the last 3 months. The advanced heart meditation. If anyone's had any experiences with that, go ahead in the chat room and say how it's helped you. The shaman's death, the sanctuary of all souls, and all the other teachings that came with the myths that we bust, the greater things we expressed. There's a lot of information out there, and I know it can be confusing. Sometimes we give too much information, and the overload keeps everyone from attaining a form of success. Any form of success. Living the mystical life daily is also about you in this moment of now who wants more. And I want to help you process and integrate more. So many of you have been concerned in the past that you can't succeed while applying this daily. I want to put all those fears to rest to you today. You just need the right person to show you how and explain it to you. I know others have told you that maybe you need to go to India or to the ends of the earth or find a monastery, a cave to find your own self-illumination. In the concrete jungle of two-legged creation today in the now, we need to blend all forms of teachings. We can no longer be the hermits in the mountains and the masters in the monastery. This is the time the masters in the monastery come down to the city and open shop and say, I'm here to be in business, to train and learn and help other people to go to the next level, for that is the great Dreamtime Awakening. I'm here to tell you that all of those other people that are saying that you got to go to the monastery, you got to go do that one way, that's their way. That's their way to enlightenment. That doesn't need to be your way. Your way is a self-empowered, self-illuminated, self-taught, sacred discipline using personality who can go to the next level. They have their own reasons, and you must begin to remember your truth versus their truth. And you ever thought a part of you that just doesn't really want to succeed at practice living the mystical life daily? Maybe using the sanctuary for all souls twice in a day so that you can enforce 6 dreaming nights and 1 dreaming day, overnight dreaming? That's the challenge from the Sanctuary of All Souls, as well as a visualization meditation that brings you ready to prayer in your own personal enlightenment prayer grounds. The greater expression to connect to the very fetus that was in womb and then birth, to make the leapfrog of consciousness from infinite to finite to infinite once again, reconnecting the yin and the yang of the fetus in the womb to the fetus that is born in this whole new hologram. The part of you that doesn't benefit from success, those are the ego, the shadow, the shade, and all of those other middle shades of different colors of light and dark that are trying to lead you into a limited point of view. There are times we must follow that, that limited point of view, because that's what karma is. Finding the wrong girlfriend at the absolute wrong time, where deep down inside one knows one should have gone to the other direction. Or the job that has eluded you for the longest time, and you get there and you got to give away all your power to the job, and it ultimately doesn't pay itself back. Years go by and you feel used and abused. That's the slave mentality coming through. But that's also your own projection from lifetime to lifetime. And that is where learning how to use living the mystical life daily, the shaman's death, can help you let go of that shell that tries to reemerge on you every couple days, weeks, months, several times a year. And it will come at the most inopportune moments. When you're cut off at traffic, or you come home and the kids haven't cleaned the house. Or worse, you're at the harshest time of your personal relationships. All of those things are about mechanisms of failure. Mechanisms of failure that ratchet you down instead of allowing you to ratchet yourself up and to save energy on a cyclical basis instead of giving it away every day, week, month, several times a year, because that cyclical habit pattern returns that drains you of your great higher essence. That part of you that does not benefit is a program. How do you get rid of that program? Living the mystical life daily is about deprogramming yourself in your own way, with your own awareness, and your own observation, and your own discernment, and an out loud name it to claim it system. He uses the peacekeepers and the peacemakers as an archetypical foundational process so that peace can come to any warring faction that's in yourself. And yes, everyone has warring factions inside themselves. We live in a stew pot of DNA. In any one person in the chat room that is listening now, you have several thousand bloodlines that are invested into your DNA. We went from over 900,000 free incarnating lineages to a little over 200,000 free incarnating lineages. So think about that. That is how much soul families have been limited in the types of skin suits that they can use that share common expressions until such a time you cannot tell one soul family from another. And oftentimes we end up getting that trailer park soul family trash. That's right, the ones who lifetime to lifetime to lifetime can't get it together, ruin the people that are around them, find themselves in ego, or are pretending to be kings and queens of their era. Each and every person must come to their own aspect. I want to answer one of these questions here. The heart meditation has been so helpful for me feeling place of safety. The feeling of the pericardium is a comfort that is supported by Earth Mother's womb. I am safe in the comfort of the womb, of each heartbeat, and a deeper connection to the truth that I am safe in my own heart. The heart meditation is a beautiful way to empower oneself and to see how to take care of your own I amness. Well put, Trevor. Well put. When I was writing the heart meditation, it was because over decades of doing this, of deprogramming people, dehaunting people, bringing them into their own power so they can get it back themselves, I began to understand how the heart had misperceived love. The love of the self, the I amness. So many children are taught love to receive from their parents. But the parents also send love differently to adults. And this is where children get radically confused. Because there are times the parent confuses the love with the child, and the child is an empathic process. All of those things get melded until you're a 35-year-old woman with 3 kids finding out your own process of how to separate the unlimited love that the child needs, but what the next door neighbor love is versus. Yeah, that is an aspect that you got to think of. In the unlimited point of view, there are ways to deprogram oneself of those subtle limitations of love. And that part of you that also doesn't want to benefit from succeeding are other versions of yourself. Past lives, possibly future lives. Why don't they want you to succeed? For those of you who have gone through the galactic history, the 20-part series, we are a species with amnesia. And this is the time of the Great Dreamtime Awakening. And it's a hierarchical order where they want to be the apex during the Great Dreamtime Awakening. And they will do whatever they need to do to get here. And this is where name it to claim it means it's my time, not theirs. And this is where you begin to create borders, boundaries, rules, policies, and all those other things that do what? Define your sovereign reality in the seat of your heart, fully expressing to the entire realityness that's around you. Owning this place, manifesting the next layers of skills to process the information equal to your level of responsibility to it. There is information out there that in 7 words, you would all be like, what? I don't know if I could handle that. That's right. We are 7 words away from challenging everyone's reality. And once a reality is challenged, the spiritual fight, flight, or attack takes over. And this is what so much of the world is screwing with right now, trying to figure out itself. Social media's fight, flight, attack, fight, flight, attack. That has been recreated here now and is something that needs to go to its next level of deprogramming through self-discernment, through letting go of the old habit patterns. Once one lets go of the older habit patterns, we can take the next level of personal exploration into what a duality is, or to what a septality is. Now, many of you have heard me say I can simultaneously exist on 20,000 worlds, Akashic record worlds. It's well over that now when I choose. But those are my foundational expressions that make up the collective that is Andrew, that is in equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order, non-duality, non-separation, I am dreaming, standing DNA, light body nation of one. Here, now. And I know a lot of you have a dream to change the world and make an impact. And I want to show you how you can do that during this webcast. My goal for this webcast is for 2 types of people. For those of you who are beginners, you will learn how to have conscious application of the sacred art and what that really means to daily life changes. For those of you who are more experienced with my teachings, it's the multidimensional point of view. You'll get a more in-depth understanding of your shells, your limitations, and your perception-deception filters. Most of those of you who've been around here a while, you've heard me say this over and over and over again. Perception, deception, filters. Those are self-created through our beliefs. Think about what you have your own self-deception filter. Easiest way to think about it is you have a view of what movie you'd want to watch right now. And if your mind goes to rainbows and unicorns and datings, then that is your expression. But the opposite of that is you can't handle horror, violence, or that other expression. That is a subtle perception, deception filter. but it is also an intentional filter. There are times we intentionally deceive ourselves to not see the mystical because we don't believe in ourselves, because we don't have enough power in our internal bodies. Too much pathogenic cold has gone through us. So I have a statement here from Minnie Elamahai. Andrew, so far I've loved your teachings. I've noticed that the revocations, the colonics, and the cranial sacral therapy and creating sacred space, even through all the chaos around me, has really changed and improved my experience. I experience many synchronistic events now. I am in the relationship that now feels like a relationship, and it feels amazing. And I've had made friends with people who feel like soul family. And I'm also going to do a cranial sacral course too. Outstanding, Mina. Outstanding. I have been a big proponent of cranial sacral for a very long time, along with Watsu and a number of others. For any of you that are out there that have not had a cranial sacral session, you can go to website upledger.com, and in a little corner over there it says find a therapist. All you got to do is put in your zip code, and it's worldwide. And that's the actual people that teach it. So, how many of you are in a current position that you want to take it to the next level for this summer? So can I get a 1 if you're ready to do it, and a 2 if you think you want to sit down a little more in the chat room for those that want to engage? 1, you want to go more, and 2, it's a little too much for you right now, because we are existing in a time of the great change. July 2017, and Trump in office, Marcon in office, all of those different office expressions up for grabs. Up for grabs in belief. This is where we get to deprogram our belief in all of them. Think of this for a second. Where did we learn about global politics? Global togetherness. The first time this species really had global togetherness was the Farm Aid and Live Aid concerts in the early 1980s, when government bodies weren't running musicians. Where did you get your programming of a global government? Research? The internet? A video? Here's where you can deprogram your entire process on who defines what a global government is, even if we need a global government. Let's acknowledge that there is a hollow earth that has tens of thousands of other species in it. Just as if one would live in New York, you would be a New Yorker. We are Earth in all dimensions, time streams, galaxies, in that expression. That means all DNA lineages living here are Earthers, terra firmas, hollows and surfacers, astrals. The whales, the dolphins, the elephants, the geese, the ducks, all those are sentient beings too. So we have millions of species who all want to be a part of the global government. Allow yourself to allow all other points of view of sentient life who are sharing space with us in this layered uni-reality to be a part of your spiritual courts of equity, to be a part of your ancestral soups, to be a part of your ancestral unions. This is now point of view. When I was quite young, 17, I had to go through what my unlimited point of view would look like, where I had to go into the Greek Orthodox programming and the religion that I learned that, and the type of prayer formats that I learned. I needed to let go of what my mother and father thought, what my 2 brothers, even what my dog and my cat thought. Until finally, I went into my one little place there was a place that I would hike to, and there were these Russian olive trees. And if you know anything about Russian olive trees, they can be very sprouty. And obviously somebody had planted them many, many years before that, probably 60, 70 years. It was a gigantic grove that self-populated. And there was this little nook that you can get into, and you'd be surrounded by these big tree branches for 30, 40 feet. And I can just sit in between all of them and touch 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 little branches or big branches with my body stretched out there. And I would just stay in there, and I'd feel the wind go left and right through the branches. I'd hear the deer off in the side, the squirrels. And I began to learn to slumber there, to actually go into a deep, deep sleep so that I could find my unlimited point of view. That grove shared a lot of life force with me so that I could find that greater point of view, so that I could express everything that I needed to express in myself at that time, so that I could get over of acknowledging that I was technology. I amness is technology. It's an expression of the soul, a memory of the soul. But the I amness now, the soul cannot function without it. Here in this reality. Many, many other realities that we're in, you don't have that. You don't have an I amness. Many of them don't even get to fully experience 7-color time. That's why we come live here as massive soul families. And it's time for us to understand, just like I understood at a very young age, that what came here to earth was for a bigger change, a bigger perception change. Whatever happens in this reality is truly meaningless. This side that we are on is the dream. Literally, this is the dream. We created this place so that we could discover the unlimited points of view. It's called the Galactic Ascension Machine. What I understood in that grove of trees was how to present information. I was so confused at how I would relate to people. And look how I relate to you now. If I had not gone through that point of view, how I relate to people, what expression from me is coming forward in connection, that ultimately was my internal struggle. Now, my external struggle, when I wasn't with the trees, I had to live in a world of psychic pollution. That's what I call it. We're all sharing the dirty energy underwear. This is what confuses this side as the dream. That dirty energy underwear has no basic spiritual hygiene behind it. Protecting your space where you go to sleep and protecting the space where you wash your face in the morning. Those are the two most minimal forms of spiritual hygiene that's out there. Whatever belief system you use to do it, it's the intent and power behind it that gets the trueness of it being done. It will always be your choice. Conflict. I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of conflict that it took to get here in the unseen world. There were those that saw the unlimited point of view as something that would take their power away because they are hierarchical zealots defining a world that we live in. We see this in every different aspect of our world. Mail comes to us through the government. Certain expressions only come from this hierarchical order, this hierarchical structure. When we begin to learn to be non-hierarchical order, non-competition, non-duality, non-separation, equal co-creation, I am dreaming selves, each our own breakaway civilization of one that does not adhere to the spiritual laws of an elite class trying to dumb us down. We get to understand the greater purposes or why we use those deprogramming events, which are generally ceremonies to honor the victories that we've gone. Now, I know a lot of you may not want to become a healer, a teacher, a speaker, a psychic, a guru, but you yourself, the sacred discipline here, it still applies. And for those of you who do want to be healers, teachers, speakers, psychics, and gurus, without sacred discipline, truly a part of the deep inner you, you will not succeed. You will be locked in mediocrity without the discipline to have the most basic forms or advanced forms of spiritual hygiene equal to your level of personal awareness. Living the mystical life daily is about finding your own personal algorithm equation that balances those processes. That balances what the soul needs from spiritual hygiene versus spiritual expansion. When we get to understand that spiritual expansion is amplified by our spiritual hygiene, that the prayers that we give to the self in those victory moments amplify our ability to have that I am dreaming moment where we are lucid and capable of remembering and fully be active and fly in that dream again. That is living the mystical life daily, giving yourself the method, which is the magic of self-creation, self-illumination. There is no madness in the method. The method is repetition with self-illumination. If there is repetition with no illumination, then you are doing something wrong. You are not getting joy out of it. For it is basic synaptic nerve ending connections that we go from the mind to the heart to the stomach to the intestinal tract to the dreaming body. The dreaming body is ultimately about connecting us in non-duality. Traditionally, people would have to isolate themselves to become that next level person. But we are in a time that we need 1 billion healers in this world. We need 1 billion teachers in this world. Who's ready to step up? Who's ready to define their point of view? Who's ready to determine what they will connect to? What personalities that they want to go out and reach to? Who is ready to let go of the different aspects of the ego that stop your own interconnectedness with the dream? Here is where we can challenge some of our deepest programmings that I could only do it in a monastery. I can only do it in a cave. I can only do it with a teacher giving me 16 hours a day and whacking me over the wrists when I do it wrong. So many of you have that as a spiritual expectation at a so subtle level. I did. Guess what? I did. I still have to battle that at times. Why? Because I'm human, just like everyone else. Our technology wants us to be here grounded and aware, to challenge the soul to come in. That's the nature of the DNA I amness technology. Soul, come in here and be a part of this place. Stop being off in Zeta Reticuli or the Orion world or there. Be here, soul. That's the whole point of I amness. And the I amness and the soul come to a treaty at times where a great amount of the soul is here and we have that mystical experience that goes, wow, holy shit. And then life changes. So many of you are waiting for the holy shit moment. Are you ready to let go of the holy shit moments? I've had so many holy shit moments. I did 382 live reading shows. 700 something hours. You know how many oh shit moments I had there? Spiritual explosions, before and after. So many of us want that next level. The key is, how do you apply it in the modern world of the dirty energy underwear, where others, mass amounts of others, are not doing their spiritual hygiene. This is learning to be your spiritual wall maker, brick maker, who can visualize firing your own psychic bricks and making a wall around you that is defined as clean energy versus the dirty energy underwear. So it's like you are a log floating in a great river, but that surface of that log is protected at its core, not sharing and expressing and interconnecting with the dirty energy underwear. Here's a question from Dreamer. Existence itself is worth a big holy shit. Many of us need more holy shit moments. Well, that's an expectation. And as I was saying before, I had holy shit after holy shit after holy shit moment long before I became on air. To the point where I said, I want no more holy shit moments. I want aha moments. That is what we need to strive for. Not holy shit, I'm just gobsmacked. Aha, I get it. Aha, I get it at a deeper level. Every day is an opportunity to choose to live the mystical life daily. The power of choice is great and grand, and your legacy to yourself. It is your self-responsibility to use awareness syncopated with your presence. This Living the Mystical Life Daily Blueprint makes it easier and simpler because it will change your perspective and give you a fresh point of view to how to perceive the reality to get to the unlimited point of view. Here's what we're going to cover in the next 30 minutes. The 3 secrets of becoming your own self-illuminated master. What is self-illumination? Now for 7 webcasts now, I've been expressing it 7 different ways from Sunday. So I'd like people to go into the chat room and give a quick statement. What is the self-illuminated master to you? Look at the common correlations that you might be sharing. Self-illumination. Self-illuminated master. Without expectations. But allow yourself to free flow and write what truly is a self-illuminated master. Challenge your perception-deception filters. Challenge the little self-defeating person inside you that says, no one will look at my question. I won't spell it right. My grammar is wrong. Tell them all to screw off. It's your time. That's I amness saying to the soul, come be inside. Share with me. Co-create soul. Aha! Yulia got it. All right, the first secret is expectations create limitations. Some from Abreha, this is a good one. I like to name to claim a level of cleanliness via song when I'm in an environment of my own tracks and music tracks. On spiritual cleanliness, creating yo-yo movements and sage and smudge done properly. There you go. From Radovov, levitator, clairvoyant, time traveler. The self-illuminated master is whatever you need yourself to be in that moment. Do you need to be a mathematician or scientist equal to your level of responsibility? Do you need to be a mother equal to the number of children that are there for your love? Or are you a person in a slave job giving away your power? That's how subtle the difference in belief can be. When you begin to believe yourself, I am the self-illuminated master. I have had holy shit moments. I have had thousands of aha moments. I don't need any more confirmation or affirmation. I don't have an expectation of the sun to send an angelic being down me to say, here's your big angelic sword, go off and be. That's letting go of the external projections, letting go of the external view of what history could be, and know thyself in the deep forms of inner self-illumination. When we begin to challenge ourselves, we understand about that first secret. Why expectations create limitations. A plus B equals C. If you believe you are limited, you will be limited. Simple as that. There are sub-aspects of choice points that we adhere to. And those are ancient parts of ourself. When we were 10, 12, and we were learning about the world really fast, and we were becoming, the first puberty was coming through. And your body was full of hormones, and you didn't know what to think, what to do. Your brain wasn't fully formed yet. And guess what? You created a habit pattern in yourself of, guess what? Disappointment, worthlessness, I'll never get it right, confusion, self-worth. Here is where we deprogram that being going through those processes, so that self-illumination becomes an action. Everyone has a picture of themselves where they can look at themselves and see their fake smile on, or to know that they're just not present in the body for whatever was going through them. Each and every one of you could have that one picture and could visualize that person in your mind that is you and send them love. Enough love that they would actually notice you. For only you would know that being at that time, if they are aware or unaware, what would take for them to get to notice the love that's in their own body. By loving thyself now, you can love thyself in the past or the future. Love has no limitations or bounds. Send that love. Empath how they receive that love, for it is your body and your legacy to know thyself. When you are in the flow of that, you are not using expectations. You are using precognition. You know yourself at a precognitive level. You will know if you reject love in that 13-year-old picture. And you will also know that you can communicate to them. And this is where, when you've done enough love, done enough practice of living the mystical life daily, you can go back to that being who is in that time and deprogram yourself by telling them your story. You are that time traveler in that moment, in your own DNA lineage, in your own body, and it is your own legacy to do that to yourself, so that you can ultimately have the unlimited point of view, without expectations, creating your limitations. One of the final expectations, limitations, is that we are born in a world that says you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to do your stuff 16, 18 hours a day, you sleep 8 hours a day, some of you sleep 4 hours a day. And that is one of the most subtlest expectations that has been imprinted to us at the most earliest times of our technology, long before our I amness is even formed. And that's, we live in a world of duality, that we are separate. When in fact we are not separate. We are layered equally on top of each other. And it is only awareness that separates our ability to perceive. We do not live in a world of duality. So let me go to a question here. Hold on. We got a lot of people signing in. Thank you so much, everyone. Where are these questions? This, from Neona, the self-illuminated master owns the unlimited point of view. There you go. Owning the unlimited point of view. How do you own it? You claim it as yours on a regular basis until it's like something that's in your wallet that you know is forever there. Okay? It can go back to when you had your binky or your blanket. That's mine. That's my blankie. That's my unlimited point of view. What does it take for all of you to make that leapfrog in logic that the unlimited point of view is my blankie and no one can take it? And defend it with the power of that innocent kid going, mine, not yours. That is getting to the next level of living and understanding we do not live in a world of duality. Contemplate duality for a minute. I want everyone to get a second here and put into the chat room if dreams are your most important aspect of wanting to learn. 1 for dreams and 2 for spiritual awareness journey, meaning you're doing it awake and you're not falling asleep to have the experience. So 1 for dreaming experiences, and 2 for awake experiences, direct experiences. Now we're going to do this little chat roll here for a reason. Because in a world of duality, there is no separation. Each person comes to this unique process based off of the karmic equation that's in them. So 1 for wanting to do it through dreaming, and 2 through spiritual journeying as an awake person. Here is where we get to understand the greater process of duality, equal balance of creation in the inner and outer world that is you in every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe. So we got a bunch of 1s and 2s and one that have done both. Okay? Think about that. Is this what you expected? I'm not sure. Think about this. We're getting a moment to share with people from around the world their points of view. We are making the unlimited point of view now. The unlimited point of view is saying duality can exist and I can still be a singularity in the duality. That is being the apex of your own inner hierarchical order, allowing the unlimited point of view to truly be the unlimited point of view without our limitations of I amness needs to be present and aware for all of it. Contemplate that. The I am's awareness for present of all of it. The I am is asking the soul to become here and aware. And the I am doesn't need to be aware of absolutely everything because that's not its purpose. And that's where so many of us get lost into, I want it through my dreams or I want it through my physicality. You should be doing it through both. Your dreams should be that foundation that drives you to go out and physically experience, to go through confirmation and affirmation. But so many people are stuck in this world of duality, they cannot bring their dream world to stay active more than once or twice a month or a year. So Treva, isn't separating the two duality? No, it's a quadality technically. 2 separate dualities. But you can be a singularity and there's both separate dualities. That's the unlimited point of view, allowing the unlimited point of view. That's that when you're bilocated and you're sleeping over there and awake over here, or sleeping over here and awake over there. That's the expression of the quadality, the potential of a quadality. Now for a lot of you that's cracking your mind, a quadality or a septality or an octality. All of those are fully possible in the unlimited point of view. All of those are fully available for those that want to begin spiritual journeying and begin learning how to use living the mystical life daily to store the great volumes of energy that are needed to make manifest the powerful experiences. If you think you can operate on microvolts at this level, you're kidding yourself. You're fooling yourself and setting yourself up for failure. You need to learn to store volumes of energy, mass volumes of energy. Because it's not about what you think, it's ultimately about what you believe in. And that's that third secret. If you don't truly believe that you can do it, you are not going to do it. That's why we go through these confirmation, affirmation, holy shit, aha moments. Think about it. Is there something inside you that needs a holy shit, aha moment? Because you've been aha'd throughout your life in all different forms of this duality experience, until the point you are duality confused. Detoxing from Roman numeral time is one of those coping skills, long term, in living the mystical life daily, that will begin to help you understand it's not about what you think in the moment. It's ultimately about what you believe and the greater frequency of light of what's going on in your seen and unseen world. Muhahaha. Let me take a sip here for a second. That third secret. Muhahaha. You believe what you think. And if you truly believe it, it becomes your manifested, created reality. Just as I made that expression of being in the Russian olive trees, here I am. Bingo. 30-something years later. Or 28 years, 20 years later. Sorry, I'm not that old. 43. That's made that leap. Did I see this exact moment sitting in front of you? No. I saw thousands of moments in which I would be sitting in front of thousands of people. And I had to make sense of them inside that grove of Russian olive trees. Each day, each week, I continued to live the mystical life daily and understood about what I believed, what I saw in the future. Did I believe it? Hell no. I wanted confirmation, affirmation, and then whack, confirmation over affirmation over the top of my head, left, right, like a big club, until finally I'm like, no more confirmation, affirmation. I believe, no problem. That was what I needed at that moment. So many of you are in the expectation that's what you need. You don't need to be beat up by the experience. I created that experience by going through my own personal awareness training. What did I want to be aware of, and what did I not want to be aware of? Awareness is a key thing about what you believe in. Your responsibility, okay, the mantle of responsibility means that you are equal to your level of awareness. So I chose to be aware about Hollow Earth. I chose to be aware about the great time-traveling processes. And within that, I had to have a higher form of my own personal spiritual hygiene, personal spiritual practice, so that I could engage that information at that high frequency and understand it and talk about it, commune it, write about it, encode it in 26-letter alphabet, do videos on it, do thousands of hours of reading shows with it. For if I did not go through that manifestation where the I amness brought in the fullness of the soul to commune in these live shows that I've done, 1,500 hours since 2013. Think about that. I have turned on the stream and will continue to turn on the stream because I believe in myself and I believe in the species that's out there. Those people that are listening to these waves, seen and unseen, I believe in you. I believe in you so much because I've seen you on the other side. Each and every one of you now. So expectations create your limitations and you don't realize it. So we have a question here. One second. So from Frida. Hi Andrew, I try to help by offering healing by hypnosis technique Dolores Cannon, but most people don't trust this method and prefer to run to medical industry. Do you have any advice for me? You know, that's the age-old issue with so many people that are going through and needing healing. It's the one method that's this, it's the one that's that. And one person, you know, they like love and love and love, and all of a sudden they say one thing that's different than their point of view, and they throw away them as a teacher. And that's ultimately what's going on with you, Frida, is the people that are coming to you are stuck in mediocrity and will go to their fight, flight, freeze process. In the medical industry, when they're returning to that, that's their problem then. Then ultimately you must learn how to detach from the need to help with them. There may be an aspect where they come to you in codependency. Not that you're offering codependency, but they are, and the energy that you're exchanging with them is codependent energy. And that's all that they're getting is codependent energy out of that healing. Not that you've done anything wrong. That person came in with a belief and a belief structure and a set of defined boundaries that transmuted what your intention was into what they believed it was. That is what's wrong with the holistic industry to the medical industry. When I do healings on people, I understand that they have an equation of expectation about how a healing will go through. And I will challenge that at every scale and size at which they think to break down that belief that it must be done this only one rigid way. The unlimited point of view can easily outdo the rigidity that's there in people's minds if they just allow it to have a little bit of life force in there. A little bit of greater expression that can bring in more I amness to say, soul, be here now. So from Radovo, Andrew, challenge our reality some more and increase the voltage. May I have your attention, please? I'm about to raise the voltage. So now what is your expectation on raising the voltage? Is somebody going to get zapped there? Is somebody going to spit out their drink and all of a sudden there's going to be coffee all over their screen? Is somebody's internet going to turn off? So I raised up the spiritual voltage to bring in more ancestors so that people can have palpable feeling of presence of those in equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order, non-separation, non-duality, dreaming, I am, DNA, light body, nations of one, independent of the infrastructure of domination and control, making their own communion and union light force of presence now. That is what's here, the unlimited point of ancestral view. Bringing in all aspects of the tens of thousands and millions of worlds we all simultaneously exist on that are all equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order, to be present here in our seen and unseen world so we can all have the feeling of the hairs on the back of our arms and necks raised from the presence that's here, asking us to be in love with all future, past, and present beings here in the inner and outer dialogue to take life force to the next level, to raise our frequency. How is that? All right. How can I decipher? This is from Summer. How can I decipher which is inner dialogue stream versus incoming stream from external source, i.e. another person? And thank you for your service, Andrew. Well, thank you. Well, this one I get asked a lot. Inner dialogue stream versus incoming external stream. Inner dialogue doesn't usually have spatial location. That's the first tool of awareness. There is some external dialogue that has training behind it, where it may come from the awareness of part of body, like your gallbladder, your liver, and until you can train your third eye to understand the stream, is it me coming through thought internal, through the projection of the third eye, that's creating emotional synaptics expressions? Or is something externally triggering my emotion synaptic expressions to bring forth a thought structure? So that's that two aspects. You've got to find the middle ground and create borders, rules, policies, and procedures of something as an external stream, that there is a filter and a medium, just like perception deception filters. You can create a positive perception filter for all external sources. But that requires you to create the foundation, the rules, the policies, and uphold them with your sacred discipline. There is where you'll begin to understand true inner streaming dialogue versus external streaming dialogue, with the positive discernment asking what the external source, what place of space-time did it come into existence? Is it an artificial intelligence? What is its purpose? So you can begin to learn to know it at a companionship level. So your internal discernment process, who will be entangling with an external source, will have some form of trust between the two that's created through first contact, second contact, and proof that there's a love force existence between you that is equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order. That is the flow. Internal dialogue as an external dialogue, so external sources know the difference between internal sources. All right. There are so many different ways to describe the three secrets and how they apply to stuff. One of the stories that I want to share with you is a time in my life where I wanted to go and have relationships, not just with the feminine, but all sorts of things. Trees, rocks, mountains, sacred places, places that didn't exist in this reality. And there was where my reality could get confused, where I was living in too many places at once. And each day I woke up, I created a subtle habit pattern that said between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., no matter what I was doing, whether I was doing construction or working at the restaurant with my parents, between that time, I would have my body be run by programs. I would be doing whatever my mom and dad said, whatever the job needed. I mindlessly did it, but I myself was experiencing something else. And that habit pattern began to drain me, and people began to notice that you're not there. I came in and refined those programs more and more and more, until such a point they didn't notice that I was such a perfect worker. I was precognitive, even being able to do things. Before they were asked, they were done. I mastered that program of how to be here and run this DNA technology, and yet simultaneously experience something else. And I had to ultimately unlearn that process, because it became one of my greatest limitations. Between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. is where I checked out of the body, and external sources wanted to use that time against me. There is where at a young age I could experience some form of haunting or some form of external wording that would drive me incessantly nuts, until finally I had to be back in the body, figure out where it's coming from, track it back to where it was, and at that time beat the heck out of it, because that's all that I knew. But that was my expectation, creating a weaponized process, because I was stuck in my own form of false duality, not allowing the singularity of the I am self to be there masterfully now. Okay? I had to put this, everything that I learned, into living the mystical life daily. And it didn't just work for me. I've used this over and over and over again with hundreds and thousands of people. Now, I've had students and clients that have come that have wanted to be master healers. And what was their limitation? They couldn't do their own marketing. They were afraid to make their own website. They were fearful of investing $100 to pay somebody to make their own website. Or worse, they didn't believe what they were doing was worth it, and therefore they never got started. And then I've had the healers that have been doing thousands of clients per year come to me and say, I don't want to do it anymore. What else can I do? I'm burned out on doing it. This is where the Living the Mystical Life Daily process helped those people to find the unlimited point of view, to take it to the next level through the out loud, name it to claim it system, to find where we gave our power away and how to get it back, such as scheduling your own clients, marketing for yourself, taking on the 3D stuff that none of us high density beings want to do. That's right, living here in the now, having to be responsible for the business that you're creating that will bring people in to do what? Pay you to do what you love to do. Therefore, you must be present. You must be cognizant with them. You cannot be cognitively dissonant to them. You must be present and aware. Give the time, the effort, the energy, the due diligence that said, I've done my spiritual hygiene. I've done my awareness training. I'm ready to engage the living the mystical life daily to find that career that is me in the now, the job that is perfect, the healing, the aspect, the teacher, the book, whatever it is that you want to do out of your living the mystical life daily process. Now you're probably thinking right now, do I have any expectations in me? What can I do to get rid of these expectations that I'm not aware of? Well, the answer is yes. We always have expectations within us. Living the mystical life daily is about deprogramming the whole process of reality expectation. Our brain is filling in the blanks all the time. At the very edges of your periphery, where you are now focused on this, there's all sorts of things that are going on in that reality, but they are not being recorded in your awareness memory. There is where we learn the subtleties of expectation deprogramming, giving the left brain and the right brain programmability to fill in the blanks, to create a story that the soul has to be aware of or not aware of and give away power to it. There's your equation of expectation and manifestation. Another one. If I can practice this 90 minutes a week, I can get there. Bullshit. Most of those that say that in their mind don't do the 90 minutes a week. They do 30 here one day, 30 another day, and then they don't do the rest. Because as soon as they start getting energy back in their body, it's siphoned back out to some other process. Learning the spiritual hygiene as a regular daily process. That is where you get to understand it's not about the 90 minutes. It's about the investment you personally put in it with the fullness of your belief behind it. 9 minutes with your fullness of belief behind it is greater than 90 minutes with no belief behind it. The other expectation is, only Andrew can do it like that. I'll never get there. That's that self-defeating habit who started from the person who didn't have success at a young age, that wasn't taught about it. I'm here to tell you, you can do it. Anyone can do this. It's written in 26-letter English and an out loud name it to claim it system. Simply by recording your own voice, using the teachings, and you sitting in your own meditative process, listening to your own voice, speaking the teachings, discerning yourself. Do I understand what I am saying? Did I know that word? Did I over-enunciate that word? Do I pass on the essence of the teaching? Did I know what the teaching means before I read it, or did I only understand it after my own voice came to me? There is an infinite amount of self-discerning ways that you can use when you're speaking the teachings out in your own voice and listening to them in your own discerning meditative state. There is you will have aha moment and holy shit aha moment after aha moment. There is where the time and investment is needed in the living the mystical life daily process. Are you ready to live in a world that's not duality? The singularity with the septality layered over it? So here's another question from Yulia. Is lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram acceptable in your view as part of one's sacred discipline? I've been using it to help define my sovereign free-willed boundaries. Thank you, Andrew. So, a banishing ritual. Now, I have used banish in a number of contract revocations. And that's because you know that the lineage that you're working with will not ever change its point of view in the frame that you're in. You know that it is going all the way to its source ending in its belief. It has become a zealot and a martyr at such a level. There comes a time where you can only use that so much before you limit the power of banishing, where you must expose the other side, letting it go out of love and not betrayal, so that the banishing is a loving process, meaning you are using the love to push them away, to push them back to their own bubble of reality so that they cannot project onto you, calling on the other elemental forces in spiritual beings to make sure that that pushing effect redirects their perception deception filters to look upon themselves for their own targeting process, to no longer be able to see you as a being that is interconnected to their reality. There are a lot of other ways you can begin to take banishing and poetically and surgically, psychic surgery, remove them from your reality. That is a lot more beauty behind it. Using the beauty behind it is engaging the sacred discipline to say, I'm an unlimited being who does not have to use the banish and all the myth behind the banishing to say that I'm getting through to you. I'm getting through to that being of what ultimately it means. Hi, we got the next question is from Morgan. Hey, Andrew, can you discuss spiritual hygiene for children as surrogates? How can we make it most effective? Do I picture their face and envision it being their body for all meditations, revocations, particularly the heart meditation? How can I simply by stating intention? Stating intention is baby steps. Activating intention is the next level. So having their picture and reading it towards the picture versus it reading it to the being, or you are mentally reading it into your mind and you're holding that person. So when it comes to children, the children only allow whatever it is they want in their reality. And most of the times they're waiting for adults to do spiritual hygiene for them until they're ready to do it on their own. So how does one choose as a mother to do spiritual hygiene for the children? Ask what they will do. What part will they engage in? Even if they read one sentence, okay? Or maybe a little bit more, or they don't do anything at all. But they're still giving you the fullness of saying, Mom, I need help. I don't know what the hell's going on in my reality. My I amness is not formed. My soul can't come in. Can you come and do a clearing on me? That is what you're doing on a regular basis. You're clearing out the confusion, taking off the cobwebs and the potential negative energies that exist in the house, that are trapped in the toys. There is where your intention needs strategy. What do the kids commonly do? Where do the common entities come from? The shoes, the clothing that they wear. That's why the mother's position is so vital. Within that expression, you can use the contract revocations. You can make specifically one when you're doing the laundry. It's for all the laundry that you're doing. Another one that's specific for the special Sunday clothes that might have energy on it, or the shoes, or the bathroom, so on and so forth. And that strategy can be refined for efficiency. It's the intention behind the efficiency. And then the repetition that shows illumination behind it, because you will see confirmation and affirmation when you do regular spiritual hygiene for them, even with just a tiny little bit of their self-involvement, so that they can go to the next level and run their lives, and mom is doing the mom things, or dad is doing the dad things. Just 1 second here. I'm looking for the right question here. All right. So many questions going so fast here. So from guest 8587, I asked this many times. I chose to learn more. Thank you. Have you ever asked yourself where the sacredness of magic was in your everyday reality? If so, have you ever asked yourself, can you physically experience it every day and not just talk about it? That's me. It is your choice to believe in each and every day. Great quote there, guys. What does it ultimately take for you to believe in yourself? Many of you are thinking, I've not had this rich and adventurous dream world. I've not had all these aha moments. I haven't been able to connect. I haven't had the Doge deja vu. I've been stuck in mediocrity. Heck, I just want to get out. I don't want to be in this duality anymore. I want to be in non-duality. To get to that next level of non-duality, non-separation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order, you got to have your own expression. Your own expression that says, I can do this. We do live in a placebo belief truth system. Really think about that. What you believe in is what you create. As a consciousness creates and manifests your reality. The placebo belief truth system. Concepts are not enough. You must believe and then act. We are not connected to the universal wisdom, but we are interconnected to universal wisdom. Faith is our direct link to the universal wisdom. Faith reminds us that we have more than we've heard, read, or studied. Faith reminds us to look, listen, and trust the love and wisdom of the universal spirit working through all of us. Faith does not require a religion or a belief in a religion. By learning to trust the love and intelligence working through you and all creation, this newfound trust will transform your perception and experience. You'll find lessons and opportunities in every challenge. No matter what you feel or know, no matter what our potential gifts or talents are, only action brings them to life. Many of us understand such concepts as commitment, courage, and love, but ultimately, we only know what we can do. Doing leads to understanding, and action turns knowledge into wisdom. Action teaches us patience and how to come over the impatience of inertia. The going forward and acting on our courage so that clear intentions and commitment mean something. Every action has its inaction and its seeds of its opposite of action. Prayer is your process. Prayer is your choice. Prayer is the process that takes the placebo belief truth system and takes it to the next level. Prayer is what helps you make higher frequency friendships with your internal I amness and soul present now, with external sources in full discernment that say here we are part of the great dreamtime awakening of the now. Present the unlimited point of view to shed off the saddles of confusion of the old way that we've learned since we were cavemen, to allow the fullness of our spirit, not limited by domination and control. Prayer is your legacy to your past, your present, and your future self. By knowing and showing us how to get rid of fear, with this process of prayer, we can find what limits our ability to believe in our own self. Prayer is finding the integrity of heart space truth, emanating unconditional love in all of its expressions. Prayer and faith is showing us that we do not need to live in a world of duality. We are the singularity. And when you believe that your prayer becomes your reality, there is when you begin to see the aha, holy shit, aha moment after aha moment. Now that you've learned it, allow yourself this next level. I've showed you in Secret 1, have you realized and experienced your own expectations created your limitations? And in Secret 2, if you use that to create your life of your dreams, it's equal to your physical world, and you use Secret 3 to continue your growth and change through the power of the placebo belief truth system, which starts with that out loud name it to claim it system that evolves your everyday evolving will to manifest and create your own reality. Do you believe you can be a self-illuminated master? Take those 3 secrets. Create your own inner belief algorithm. And understand within that algorithm are variables, and those variables are the ones that need to be deprogrammed. So this is where you get to precognitive ability instead of a natural predictive ability. Precognitive knows. By finding and using the placebo belief truth system, by enhancing your belief and taking it at the whole next level, you get to take it and use it. I know many of you are excited about what we've just talked about. How many of you are feeling a little overwhelmed because we've covered so much? Like I said from the beginning, don't worry. I know it's impossible for me to cover everything in an hour for you, to digest it all. But that's why I've created a special program just for you to implement this new mystical opportunity. It's called Living the Mystical Life Daily online course. This 6 weeks mystical training course on how to become your own self-illuminated master. This is for everyone on the path of self-mastery, whether beginner or advanced. And once you enroll, you'll receive one module per week for 6 weeks to make sure you're not totally overwhelmed, but able to apply these teachings at your own pace. Best of all, you'll have access to it for your whole life. So here's what we're going to cover in the first week. In week 1, I'm going to train you in the out loud, name it to claim it process. I will go into why it's important to do it in your own voice and why it's important to learn to discern your own voice while in a meditative state, receiving your own wisdom. In week 2, you'll be covering understanding old cycles and habit patterns that no longer serve you and limit you so that you can experience the joy of prayer. In week 3, we dive into spiritual and meditative journeying, where you'll get an opportunity to perform a long-form test prayer. Then by week 4, you'll be ready for learning about multiple frequencies of time, how to balance yourself with sacred friendships, and learn that your heart has its own song. And then in week 5, we look at dissolving old shells, accepting ourselves as powerful beings incarnate now, clearing our duality, and creating a dream time. And finally, in week 6, we wrap it up with the triathlon of mind, body, spirit practice combined with heart-spaced awareness. This spiritual triathlon will challenge you to accept your own power. By the time you get to week 6, you'll be ready because of the prior training. This prior training I have been doing for 20 years now, training people in the private process of living the mystical life daily. That living the mystical life daily has so many aspects of application to it. You know, one of my former students, she suffered from horrible migraine headaches for decades. When she began going into the out loud, name it to claim it system to look at where the beginnings of her beliefs began, by using the peacemaker and the peacekeeper, she was able to come to terms and to find that she was creating these migraine headaches through her own adrenal glands. This next process of living the mystical life daily online course, and I want to make sure that you know who this course is for, but reminding you that it's for people who have already ready to make the change, but have not been able to engage the fullness of self-change. Whether you're beginner or advanced, the strategy of conscious application of the sacred belief system will engage you at whatever level you are, equal to your level of awareness, which is your responsibility to yourself. You might be thinking you can't get started with this because you have no time or private space. That's why that's a mistake and will hold you back from success. If you truly never allow the potential of the mystical in, how can you create a mystical process that leapfrogs you forward into a newfound realms of experience? Like the stories that I've shared over the many webcasts. So when you sign up today, you're going to get instant access to my 6-week online course, a total value of $12,388, which includes the three huge teaching bonuses. When I was first figuring this out, I ran into a gigantic roadblock. How to get this to everyone. And normally it's 15 hours, 18 hours of private study with me. So I was able to create Living the Mystical Life Daily for you, the online course. I do not want you to recreate the wheel and spend hundreds of hours of trying to figure it out on your own. I've already gotten the proven results with my training. I've already had hundreds and thousands of people go through these processes. And as part of this offer, I'm giving you the Alchemy course, which is worth $197. This tool is to help you change the energy around yourself and your environment. You'll learn in-depth information on how crystals can change your environment and how the bioelectric life force illuminates everything around us. I'm also going to be giving you the Equinox and Solstice course, a value of $197. This bonus is going to make it easier for you to find the balance with the passing of the seasons and the movement of the stars by cyclical repetition of ceremony. Because it's your focus on is what's reflected and returned back to you cyclically through the forms of nature's teaching. And finally, when you sign up for the Living the Mystical Life Daily online course, you'll get 2 tuition waivers to Living the Mystical Life Daily, the live seminar, which has a value of $1,994. There's nothing like a live experience, and I'm going to be giving you these tickets because I believe you'll be getting more out of the training with me live, just like you are now, triggering you, helping you going through those graders of awareness. You'll be meeting other people, masters on their own path of self-illumination. You'll get to interact with people. Just beginning are those who have been doing the great work for ages. It's a great soul family reunion. This is where we're going to bring the magic and get to you with the help of the collective energies there to higher states of consciousness and transformation. This is literally the high point of the year. So what you'll receive is by signing up today is Living the Mystical Life Daily online course, over 10 hours of training at a $10,000 value if you're $10,000 to $15,000 value if you're hiring me privately. The Alchemy course, $197. The Equinox and Solstice course, another $197. And 2 free tickets to our Living the Mystical Life Daily online course, $1,994. And that event is coming in the first week in October this year. That's a total of $12,380 in total saved value. Now, if all this course did was help you reclaim the power to dream, reclaim your power to make any moment sacred, seeing a different form of heart space awareness, would it be worth that process? Would it be worth that investment? Now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you $12,388. It's going to be for this time price. Sorry. I want you to really think about this. What this course is here to teach you. Your expectations create your limitations. How to find your old habit patterns. Here is where we get to the price. For $997 is where we are going to offer this course. All of this training. So you can take this higher investment on your side and exchange it for what you want. And we're going to be offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's right. We believe in this so much that all you have to do is within 30 days, ask for your money back. You've already seen how it's worth $12,380. And even at that price, which I charge the public, it's a great deal. But because you're here now live with me today, I'm going to be giving you this special offer. Today I'll be offering Living the Mystical Life Daily online course, and the bonuses included the Alchemy, the Spring Equinox, the 2 tuition waivers to the live seminar for only $997 when you click on the button below to buy the course. If you're hiring me privately to teach you everything in this course, it would cost you over $15,000. But because you're learning to do it yourself as the self-illuminated master in the comfort of your own home, and I'm giving you all of the tools and resources to make it easier for you, you only pay $997. So at this point, you have 2 choices. Choice 1 is to literally do nothing. If you do nothing with the information you've learned over the last hour, what will you get? Nothing. Or you can choose to be bold and test it out and see if it will work for you. To help you take the next step, I'm offering you that 30-day money-back guarantee. Because if you're not totally 100% satisfied with Living the Mystical Life Daily online course, you can ask for your money back and we'll give you a full refund within 30 days of your purchase. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So the real question is it worth taking a few minutes of your time to check this out, to give yourself space and time to discover the joy of this process and the mystical experiences that come with self-transformation? Then now is your time. So what you'll receive by signing up today, over 10 hours of Living the Mystical Life Daily online course training, the Alchemy course, the Equinox and Solstice course, and 2 free tickets to Living the Mystical Life Living the Mystical Life Daily live seminar that is the first week in October this year. all for only $997. I know you're all thinking, this sounds amazing, but there's a question about money. So think about this for a minute. What is money outside of the false beliefs we have about it? A lot of people have fear about money and even bigger fears about spending. But understand that money is just a tool. It can be used for ill, but it also can be used for wise and loving purpose. We use it as a tool for exchange. Other than that, there's no real value in money. You can't use it to stay warm. You can't eat it. You can only trade it for something you want. Just think, everyone who exchanges money for something does it because they feel that their getting exchange is greater than keeping the money or using it for something else. At least that's what I expect when I buy something. I don't know, actually for sure, until I buy it and try it out and see the results. That's how you get over expectations, by seeing the results. My question is for you this: would you exchange that tool for those results? If the answer is yes, then you need to get started right now. And if you have any fear that it might not be what you expected, just let us know and we'll give you your full money back. It's time to become your own self-illuminated master. It's time to no longer be afraid of what you're giving up, but to own your divine power. It's time to go beyond the maturity of adulthood and be the child again with wisdom earned and learned from many lifetimes and experiences. So click on the button below and I'll see you in the course.